One Piece 1084 came out recently, and it was, undoubtedly, one of the most lore-heavy chapters that fans have received in a while. The final saga of One Piece has been filled with nerve-wracking events from all over the world. However, a big part of the story has always been the incredible lore that is attached to it. The past few chapters of One Piece did not focus as heavily on this aspect. However, Oda has remedied that by dropping a massive chapter now, filled with lore that possibly changes the history of the One Piece world forever, as fans know it. One Piece 1084 continued the flashback of Sabo at the Reverie, and some shocking revelations were made. Nefertari Lily's introduction. One Piece 1084 was incredible from start to finish, and right from the get-go, fans could tell that this chapter was going to be lore-heavy. As was teased towards the end of the previous chapter, Cobra was able to get a meeting with the 5 elders. There, Cobra mentioned the formation of the world government. Long ago, the 20 kings banded together and laid their swords in front of the empty throne, claiming to never lust for power and always respect the integrity of the empty throne. This empty throne was a sign that indicated that the world had no true leader. Thus, the basis of the world government was equality among the many political figures. After the 20 kings were established, the many political figures of different countries who were allied with the world government also came to be. However, the 20 kings certainly were the strongest and the most influential of the lot. The 20 monarchs and their descendants came to be known as the Celestial Dragons. However, one of the 20 monarchs is not known to be celestial dragons, and that is the Nefertari family. The Nefertari family monarch at the time was Nefertari Lili, and, unlike the other members of the 20 rulers, Lili did not stay in the Holy Land to become a celestial dragon. Instead, she went down to her country to resume her duties as the Queen of Arabasta. However, One Piece 1084 saw Cobra mention that her journey back to Alabasta was never completed. She vanished on the way, and her duties were later taken over by her little brother. The Gorosei, naturally, denied knowing anything about this, mentioning that this information has been lost to the annals of history. The attack on Charlos. One Piece 1084 did more than just introduce lore about Queen Lily of the Nefertari family. It also gave fans a glimpse of the ongoing events during the Reverie. Fans saw Sabo and Bonnie team up together in an attempt to get the keys to the collars of the slaves. Sabo successfully retrieved them and handed them over to Karasu, who then managed to take them to Kuma and the other slaves. Meanwhile, Charlos was seen trying to capture Shirahoshi once again. This time, he was using his invincible slave, aka Kuma. Charlotte would certainly have succeeded in this quest of his had the members of the Straw Hat Grand Fleet, Don Sai and Leo, not shown up. Together, they launched a powerful attack on Charlos, injuring him severely and possibly incapacitating him forever. Shirahoshi was saved, and she ended up returning to the side of her family. The attack on the Celestial Dragons would surely call over an admiral, however. This is where the Revolutionary Army stepped in and managed to gain access to Kuma once again. Sabo and Bonnie were seen parting ways, and the latter was seen headed towards Egghead, which is where she currently is. Imu's appearance. One Piece 1084 also surprised the fans with the appearance of Imu, the sovereign of the world. While Cobra was talking to the 5 elders about Queen Lily, Imu was overhearing the conversation all the while. When Cobra did not receive any answers from the 5 elders, he grew impatient and asked them about the meaning of the D. He mentioned that there is a letter that was penned down by Queen Lily that is passed down from generation to generation within the Nefertari family. Moments after mentioning this, Imu showed up in the throne room, despite Cobra being there. This action shocked not just Cobra, but the 5 elders as well. Imu is a person whose identity should not be known to anyone at any cost. However, they showed themselves in a rather brazen manner without any worry for consequences. Imu climbed upon the empty throne and showed Cobra that there actually is a ruler of the world, and it is them. They also know the fate of Queen Lily, as they went on to utter her name before taking their position atop the throne. From here onwards, One Piece will likely focus on the secrets of the Void Century. Perhaps, Ima might actually end up revealing what happened to Lily, and how they were responsible for her death. The upcoming chapters will also tackle the assassination of Cobra and the incarceration of Sabo. While One Piece is on break next week, the anticipation for One Piece 1085 remains extremely high, thanks to such an incredible chapter. And in other news, One Piece, Roronoa Zoro's strongest attacks, rank. Roronoa Zorro is among the most well-known anime characters. Along with his cool persona, Zorro is also an extremely talented swordsman. Zorro began his journey of becoming the strongest swordsman in the One Piece world when he was only a kid. In order to achieve his dreams, Zorro knew that he had to beat the very best, and for that, he had to work extremely hard. While traveling with the crew, Zorro gained new swords and developed multiple skills to combat stronger One Piece characters. With that in mind, here are some of Zorro's most powerful attacks. Ultra Tiger Hunt. Zorro has a reputation for cutting down the toughest of opponents. After all, he is in contention to become the best swordsman in the world. He has struggled in many of his battles, but his unshakable warrior spirit has rescued him from being overwhelmed. When the Straw Hats were on Punk Hazard, Zorro had to fight a big dragon. Zorro could have tried using the regular Tiger Hunt, but it would have definitely failed to cut the rugged skin of the dragon, so he decided to use Ultra Tiger Hunt to take down the beast. Ajura Ichibugen. Zorro used this particular attack for the first time in the Enies Lobby arc. His opponent, Kaku, was an elite assassin who could use Rokushiki and Devil Fruit together to create devastating maneuvers. He had developed counters to Zorro's attacks, which made it difficult for the Straw Hat Pirate to gain the upper hand. With no other option left, Zorro used Ajura Ichibugen to disperse Kaku's strongest attack and eventually defeat the CP9 assassin. Considering this is Zorro's trump card, it is no wonder that he doesn't use it frequently in fights. 1080-pound Phoenix. 1080-pound Phoenix is an upgraded version of Zorro's 108-pound Phoenix. The attack is imbued with Busashoku Haki, which increases its overall power. It was strong enough to destroy a large part of Pika's ginormous statue. Zorro can use 1080-pound Phoenix to attack his opponents from afar. Being able to hit an enemy from a long range is definitely underrated, which makes 1080-pound Phoenix a rather useful attack. 3-sword style secret technique. Billion-fold world Trichiliocosm. The Dressrosa arc proved to be the first test of Zorro's strength after the time skip. Zorro's opponent in the arc was Pika of the Don Quixote Pirates. Pika's Ishi-Ishi-Me enabled him to merge with stone, resulting in the creation of a massive stone structure that could destroy buildings with ease. The only way to stop Pika was to cut him in two. After being launched into the air at great speed by Orlumbus, Zorro began to cover his swords with Busashoku Haki and easily sliced through Pika's giant stone body. 3-sword style Black Rope Dragon Twister. The Straw Hats have faced many powerful opponents on their adventures. They have had to adapt and improve to take down their opponents. Before the time skip, Zorro often used Tatsumaki to take out waves of enemies. But as the enemies have become more durable, Zorro has come up with better attacks. Zorro's 3-sword style Black Rope Dragon Twister is a more powerful version of Tatsumaki. This attack creates a twister that can trap multiple opponents inside and cut through bodies and steel. After Zorro received Enma, he used an even stronger version to damage Kaido's scales. Purgatory Onigiri. After getting his hands on Enma, Zorro could use Haoshiku Haki and cover his attacks with it. For Purgatory Onigiri, he uses Busashoku as well as Haoshiku Haki to cover his swords. This attack is different from the regular one, as Zorro no longer needs to move toward his opponent. Instead, he can simply launch an attack from a distance, which can cause serious damage. Zorro used this attack against King, but the All-Star avoided the attack, which resulted in the destruction of the boulder he was standing on. Ajura, Blades Drawn Dead Man's Game. When Zorro's back is pushed against the wall, he usually comes up with something extraordinary to rescue himself. Ajura is the result of Zorro being pushed beyond his limits. In the Wano Country arc, Zorro received Enma in exchange for Shisui. With his new sword, Zorro was able to use his haki in a more refined fashion. He imbues all 3 swords with both Busashoku and Haoshiku Haki, which improves the attack's power. He subsequently moves toward his opponent and gives them a deep cut. Zorro used this particular move against Kaido, who commended his strength. The power of this attack will be improved further once the swordsman masters his Haoshiku Haki. King of Hell, Three-Sword Serpent. 103 Merce's Dragon Damnation. Zorro's fight with King was absolutely incredible. The stakes were high, as losing the battle would mean that King would be free to interfere with the fights of other characters. This would have undoubtedly caused problems for the Alliance, and they would have ultimately failed to win the war. Zorro was shocked to see King's fighting abilities, and he knew that it would take something special to beat him. So Zorro came up with King of Hell, Three-Sword Serpent. 103 Merce's Dragon Damnation. In this attack, Zorro leaps in the air and releases the attack toward his opponent. The hockey in the attack allows it to travel a long distance and cut everything in its path. That's a wrap for this video. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel. We'll be back with more amazing videos very soon.